Good afternoon, all of you. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, we will start the session. It's great pleasure to welcome you all for the webinar on CV creation. Today we are going to discuss only CV creation. In another session, we will discuss how to prepare for the interview. Okay. We are honored to welcome a prominent resource person from Virtusa, the Aniston Leo Bro. He working as a human resource consultant over the last 5 years. We know the career development is essential for ICT graduates. As undergraduates, you definitely improve your career development to achieve in the competitive business environment. We hope this session helpful for you to improve your skills. In the first process, CV preparation is first foremost step we will do to interact with industries. So we believe this session helpful to improve your skills on preparing your CVs. We extend our gratitude to our resource person, the Aniston Leo, for taking his time to share his knowledge and experience with us. Also, I encourage all the participants to actively involve this session, and you can clear your doubts and questions from the resource person. Uh, yeah, that's all. Without delay, I hand over to the Aniston Leo, bro. It's up to you. It's over to you, I.
Hi, Aslam and everyone. Hope I'm very audible to all. Can you all hear me? Hello. Can you all just confirm if you can hear me so
Yeah, we
that
can hear you.
it's easy for me to get. All right. Okay, great. So let me quickly share my screen as well. So it will be, just let me know, guys, whether you all can see the screen. Can you all see the screen? Can you guys see the screen if you guys can confirm?
No, sir.
Oh, not still, is it?
Now, okay.
Okay. Now it's fine, right?
Yes, sir.
Hello. Okay. Okay. So before we starting off with everything, and so before we get on what we actually focused on. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me to take up this forum and give you guys a little bit of insight about what exactly that CV looks like, and what are the things that you need to be followed, or what are the things that you need to be taken up when you prepare your CV. All right. So I want to ask a couple of you all, like, what is the purpose of what is CV first? So let me ask you quickly a big favor from you all. So please don't stay mute. Unmute your microphone, talk, and you may very collaboratively do this session, because when we talk to each other only, we'll learn a lot, right? So please get yourself talking. so that it will be help all of us to, proceed, and it will not be boring at all. Okay. So can I know some couple of people, why do we need the CV? Anybody want to answer? There are 23 people at the audience now. Anybody would like to answer why do we need the CV? Hello guys, can you all hear me? Yeah, can I know why do we need the CV? Just be interactive. There is no right or wrong answer. I won't be judging you guys based on that. So just let me know why do we need a CV actually?
Our personal
Anybody?
information.
Okay, yeah, okay, that's perfect. Yes. So that contains the personal information. Anything else? Anything else that you all want to share? What does the CV have apart from personal information? Anything that you all think that CV might contain apart from your personal information?
Our
Okay, some.
information and projects. Project.
Okay, okay. All right, great stuff. So without any further delay, let me go down. So CV is not only a place where you can find your what do you call this? Give me a minute. Okay. So CV is not a place that you can only find your personal information, projects, and all those things. Okay. So it has a lot of information as well. So let me take you through what are those information. So I have put a slide. So if you guys cannot see my slide, just let me know. I'm just second slide. Okay. So if you cannot see, but please let me know. Okay. So the
Yes, sir.
purpose of the CV is basically, okay, thank you. So the CV actually contains a written document of your skill, experience, education, background, and also your work experience or whatsoever. So it is a summary of all what you are. Okay. So it's basically talks about who you are. All right, who you are and what kind of person you are. All right. So when do we need a CV? To some people will have the CV when they need to find up a job, or when they migrate, or when they apply for master's degree program, doctor's degree program, like any higher qualification, they will require a CV. All right. So CV is a marketing tool, opportunity to make a best good impression about your tool, about yourself. Because so let's say there are a lot of people out there in the market. All right. So there are a lot of people in the market, right? Which is like finding for job. All right. So if there is a demand only for like few people, all right. So when there's a demand only for few people, you can't really, actually everybody can't get a job, right? End of the day. So there are certain people who, there are certain opportunities with very limited. All right. So how do you can be the best person to get that particular job? Your CV plays a very major part over there. All right. So it is a tool that actually makes a first good impression about yourself. Thereafter only you come the interview facing and all those things. So first you need CV need to be very standardized. So in order for you to, the importance of your CV is like, it is a marketing tool and you have to make a very good impression about yourself. All right. Your CV should have a standard quality. All right. So now we are going to talk about what a good CV looks like. All right. A good CV will definitely looks alike, like it will stand out from the rest of the crowd. Okay. It draw attention to relevant details, information, experience, and potentials. So CV, like a very standard CV, doesn't go and talk about I did that and all those things. All right. So it's actually draws very relevant skills. So you had to match the job description and also your CV. So both together has to match each other. Then only you will find a job. And also, of course, you will definitely get into an interview as well. Okay. But make sure that you actually draws relevant skills. So I will be taking you through all these instruction, like, how do you structure and all those things, the rest of the slide. But now I want you to focus on mainly on how does a CV need to be standard out. Okay. Sorry. So, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So to create such a good, a good CV will create a best impression over the interviewer. All right. So that will actually help you to grow more in your career. All right. Which is like your CV is the first place for you to get an interview or like a interview person or like employer or a hiring manager to turn you down. All right. So it will turn you down for an interview for sure. All right. So you really need to make sure that your CV looks impressive. So there are a couple of instructions I want to give you when you make up a CV. So remember all these instructions. Okay. We are now going to focus on 5 main P's that we will be focusing when in terms of creating a CV. First, plainless. Plainless. It is easy to read, well structured, use bold, make things stand out, and use the font size to be level in line. Your CV should be very easy to read. Please don't put paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs in your CV, because when you put paragraphs and paragraphs, it's kind of complicated. All right. So try to understand what exactly the objective. All right. So always remember, you should mention in a CV, like if you're making a paragraph, that paragraph should not go beyond 3 lines. It's just very plain. All right. So when it comes to the perfect, all right, English is not our first language. Always remember. All right, English is a second language. So always make sure that you proofread your CV million times. Spellings, grammar mistakes, the consistent with the punctuation, no pronouns, personal pronouns, and things has to be done. So always make sure that you are correctly spelling or mention your spellings and everything in your CV. The pages. A CV should contain only, maximum 2 pages. It should not go beyond 2 pages. If a CV is going beyond 2 pages, it's not a standard CV. All right. So the time that we actually maintain practice or events to review a CV or shortlist a CV. So in order for you to make it up, all right, you always have to remember that your CV should contain not more than 2 pages. Paper. Your CV paper should be very cool in color, which is like a white is the perfect matching. All right. Or also, if you're printing a CV, like say when you're going for a physical interview, when you're printing a CV, your CV should actually have 24 pounds, which is like a standard A4 sheet, which is not, we are not really concerned about it. So your CV should have a very like a solid paper. And then the 5th P is the position. When you're applying for a CV, always make sure that what position that you're applying. Because some people I have seen, like when they share their CV with us, they actually, apply for an internship, apply for something, apply for this, just CV and all those things they will put. So please don't make that. All right. Always make sure that you apply, you specifically mention what is the position that you are making. Is it a software engineering internship in cybersecurity, or data engineering, or machine learning, or data science, or whatever the internship opening that you are applying for, always mention the position. Okay, that is the 5 main P's. So now we will be going through a very important section, which is the structure of the CV. All right. So now we're gonna focus how do we structure the CV. Okay. So structure of the CV is a very important section. First, we'll look upon the personal details. Your personal detail is a very important section in your CV. Please don't have incorrect information in your personal details. Well, let's talk about what are the things now we have to focus when you're putting up your CV, when you're putting up your personal information in your CV. First, you need to have your name. So when you're putting up your name, you need to mention only two names, which is your first name, surname, all right, or your first name, your initial in the sense of your calling name and your surname. Okay. So for an example, if my name is like Aniston Leo, I need to mention my name as Aniston Leo. Don't have this Don Hondamunige, Arachige, and all those things, and then your name. If you have 5 to 6 names, that's perfectly all right. But always make sure that you put only 2 names right up here. And then you have to mention your name in a large font size, which is like 20 to 22. It is to be bold. The area which you have to bold is basically what do you call this, your calling name, all right, and also underline that. All right, let's say for an example, Aniston Leo, I have to underline Aniston, and you have to bold it Aniston. Okay, so that has to be mentioned 20 to 22 font size. All right, so that is about your name. Your address, next you have to mention your address. When you're mentioning your address, always remember mention your permanent residency, all right, where your resid ID. Because a lot of companies might have to, you have to work late time, and also you have to see your concern about the transportation, everywhere traveling and all those things, right? So when those things have been checked, we need to check where you are coming from as well. All right. The reason that we actually put we need your address to be put across, because we really need to check, okay, where you are coming from, what type of background and everything. Okay. So address is very important. So use 12 font size. And then next we are going for email and phone number. So your email is very important. All right. Also check million times. A lot of people make this mistake. All right. So let's say for an example, if you actually, email, right? Some people put a Gmail, right? Okay, Hotmail or Gmail. So even they make spelling mistake, even that also. For an example, like they put Gmail, Gmail, instead of Gmail, they put Gamil. All right. So that is incorrect. Okay, which is like that is nothing called Gamil. All right. So that is Gmail, right? So it's very important that you really need to check it across. Okay, and your email should be professional. All right, you should not have any emails which is like very funny and very like some people's email will have only just for an example A012356 and then 289@gmail.com. Okay, that is not like a professional email. Okay, if you're having a professional email, you always need to have your name. That is very sure. Okay, and then your email, your phone number. Your phone number should definitely contain your country code. That is Sri Lanka. If it is Sri Lanka, it is 94, and then your contact number. All right, and then when you're actually putting a contact number, always remember. All right, please remember that you are actually putting a secondary number as well. Secondary number, what I meant by is like you really need to put across somebody, or your father or mother, your guardian, or at least your home number as well, because that is very, very, very important. Because let's say for an example, let's say we are trying to connect with you, but unfortunately, if you are not available, if we need to pass a message to someone, right? So if let's say for an example, you are having an interview tomorrow, but you are not, if you're today, if you are saying we are actually canceling the interview and postponing for next week, for let's say if you are in the middle of your exam, we can't communicate with you, right? So what we will be doing is we'll call you and tell somebody who actually can pass the message to you immediately. All right. So for that, we actually need your emergency contact number. So always make sure that you put your phone number and your emergency contact number as well. And then your LinkedIn. Your LinkedIn is absolutely important. All right. So a lot of people put their LinkedIn, like, a lot of people doesn't update their LinkedIn, or kind of, they don't put a professional about it. All right. So avoid not being very professional over there. All right. Always make sure that you put a professional LinkedIn link, which have already updated version about it. Okay, so LinkedIn is very important. All right. So we go and check the LinkedIn for sure. Not that because we just it's there, we go and we ask you to put it, because we go and check your extracurricular activities, how you're posting, how you're communicating, and all those things. And then make sure that the appropriate professional, customized URL, which is like, let's say if you have a GitHub, or let's say if you have some portfolio of yours, of your hard works or whatsoever, if you're like a UI engineer, if you have done some portfolios, always make sure that you put over things as well. All right. So that is in details about the personal details. Do you all have any information, any clarification to be make across, guys, on that?
No, sir.
All right. Okay. So since there is no clarifications, let's move on to the next. Next is comes your personal objectives. So a lot of people make this mistake, right? So they won't mention this personal objective and their profile, or sometimes people might combine together and all those things. Okay, please avoid those type of information things combining and not mentioning or whatsoever. You need to mention objective. What is the objective of your CV? This is where you exactly mention what is your position that you're applying for, what type of what is your objective of this CV, of this particular resume that you're sending. And then the profile. So the what do you call this, the meaning of profile and summary is basically, when you do a project work. Okay, so when you do a project work, you have this executive summary, right? So executive summary talks about everything what you have mentioned in a very short form. Likewise, your CV should also have a short form, like a very short form, not more than not more than 3 lines even. All right. So here, if you see the qualification, the summary, all right. So summary they have not mentioned. Okay. So the summary should contain actually maximum 3 lines. Okay. So it actually talks about your very short form of your CV. Okay. So please make sure that you underline your strength, experience, interests, and the skills that you can offer to another employee. All right. So it's actually have a very short form of your CS, what do you call your entire CV. So first we saw the personal information, now personal objective, which is in under the personal objective, you have this objective and the profile or summary. Okay. So next we'll be talking about the work experience or the internship. Okay, what is the reason? What is the meaning of work experience internship? Okay, some students, let's say if you are like a fresher, or if you're like a still undergraduate, you might not have an internship, or you might not have a work experience. So when you do not have a work experience or internship, please don't put anything in that particular area. Some people try to put like, work experience, internship, nil, or I don't have any work experience, something like that. All right. So please avoid those things, right? Always make sure that you put your, if you do not have a work experience or internship, don't put anything. Always go for the next section. All right. If you do have a, let's say if you do have a work experience or internship, I'm going to give you this advice. All right. So please follow this instruction when you're doing it. All right. So the experience. All right. So when you apply for a job, or when you mention your work experience or whatsoever, this is how you have to mention. Okay. I'm not too sure whether you can see clearly this particular image, but because the quality has been dropped. So where you have to mention the date, which means like 2017, August till present. So the title, which title that you are mentioning, software engineer. What is the company? So like 2 to 3 points, you have to mention in a point format, what is the role that you're doing over here in this particular job, in this particular position. And also, if possible, please mention this key achievement section as well. So in this particular job role, what is the key achievement that you've been working on? So one in just 2 lines. And then it has to be this, and then your after that, you are the previous one has to come in the bottom. Likewise, it has to come. All right. So once this is software engineer is done, the next position has to come on the top. All right. So likewise, it has to go. All right. So this person has been working in this particular software engineering intern in this particular company, 3 or 4 lines about what is the role that he is doing. and then the key achievement he has done. So always make sure that you are doing chronically, all right, which means the latest has to come in first, and use very action words. Past present is very important, all right. And then the practice and the organization, you have to bold it out, all right. That is very important. And then please make sure that you include your dates as well, all right. Am I clear? All right, so there is a question. Can someone put a freelancing experience for the experience section? Yes, you can. There is no harm or there is nothing saying that you can't put it. Okay, so please make sure that you put as a freelancing as well within your section. Okay, any other questions out there? Nope. All right, so let's go for the next. Next, here we comes the very important section is the education and the qualification. Give me a minute. Okay, can you all see my screen at the 9th slide?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much for confirming. All right. So now we have this section called education and qualification, which is a very important section for everyone. All right. So please draw some attention over here. You need to mention your just same like work experience. You have to mention chronically, which is your latest as the first, your university. All right. If you are undergraduate, your university is your on top of your priority. You are done masters, the master's degree program has to come on the top under your education. Okay. So always make sure that you align something like this. Under your education, you have to put the date. Sorry about the image because the quality is a little bit of dropped off, so you cannot see the image. Title as well, Bachelor of Science, Software Engineering, and your university name. Let's say if you are doing a local university, you can put local university. And let's say if you are doing a foreign degree program, let's say University of London affiliated with like some other local university. Okay, so something like that you have to mention. All right. And also please mention your GPA. All right, that is very important. And also please mention which year you are currently in. Let's say you are your second year, first semester, or second year, third semester, or final year. And then you have to mention when you will be getting graduated, right? We don't need actually 2024 January, because in a year there are 12 months, right? So because we know some people will be graduating in 2024, but we actually don't know which month you are getting graduated. Tentatively put a closer month. All right, so you might know, so this is the month that you will be getting graduated. So tentatively put a closer month, that it will be easy for us to understand. Okay, so it is basically that you need to mention all these details. And then we talk about your A-levels, all the subject in your A-levels, all the subject in your A-levels and all this. Yes, it's a good practice, but always make sure that you don't exceed your pages, because 2 pages is a maximum. If you have space, good. If you do not have space, you can shorten saying successfully completed GC advanced level with 4 A's, like in your school name and your year also, which year that you completed your A-levels, and your O-levels also in the same nature. All right. Always make sure your CV should have this point format, not these type of paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs, because we don't go and read all these paragraphs. Okay, so when you put paragraphs also, it's not very eye-catching to read or whatsoever. So when even you can cluster this also in a short form and put in the jotted point formats, right? So always make sure that you follow these instructions. Okay, so any questions out there here, guys? Anything that you all want to clarify? No? All right. So let's move on to the next section. All right. This is one of the very important section that I would love to check. All right. Some people think, okay, we go to the university or we go to school just to study, get the degree and come back. Okay. That is a very bad mentality, and that is a very bad practice as well. you need to have extracurricular activities for sure, whatever said and done. So that is how you can actually balance yourself. All right. If you are a person who's like very good in sports, very good in studies, you should be not a pro, all right, not a professional, but you have to handle everything together, right? So that's how it showcases your potential. But please make sure that you do at least one society, at least you do one sport or you be in one society. Well, like let's say one club, right? Let's say there are a lot of clubs like Leo's Club, Lions Club, and then Rotaract Club, and there are a lot of IEEE and all those things, right? So please join one of them and then be very what do you call this, supportive over there. So in this section, you have to your CV should contain those information. Whereas extracurricular activities. So what is the extracurricular activities talks about is basically apart from academics, what you do. All right. So you can be you can be a president of the Rotaract Club, or you can be a president of the Lions Club, and all those things has to be like, maybe you can, in your university level, whatever that you do, right? And also you can be you are representing your your university in a certain sport or something like that. You can mention. Achievement is also the same. Always have the top priority achievements. All right. So don't go and put. I've seen people like winning the spoon and lemon race in grade 5 and all those things. They have put achievement. I'm not discriminating that. It is an achievement, of course, but this is not very relevant for your job. Okay. So please make sure that you kind of put very high level. Let's say, for an example, you have represented your university in any sports, or you have won any hackathon or any competitions, or let's say you have represented your school as well. You can put those areas. All right. Or if you've won any national awards, or if you have won any international awards, or if you have represented the country, those information you can definitely put. Publication, some people not only they are good in their academics, some people are not good in their sports, but they will be also good in doing some creative writings or making a journal or article, or some content writing or whatsoever. All right. So if you have published, if you have published already, so please make sure that you put that answer under the publication section. Okay. Any questions out there over here, guys? So, any questions that you all want to clarify? No? Am I audible enough to you all? Yes. Am I loud and clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. Okay. Cool. No worries. All right. Okay. Great. So let's move on to the next section. Next section is the final section, which is the referees. All right. So the importance of the referee is a person who knows you very well apart from your family background, family members. That is what you call referees. All right. You need to have at least 2 referees. Okay. And please don't mention referee upon request and all those things in your CV, which is a very bad practice. All right. So always make sure that you kind of mentioning this referee upon request, not anywhere in your CV. All right. So you need to find out 2 qualified people to put as your referees. I will give you a suggestion whom you can actually mention that as. All right. First, you should make able to find out 2 people. Those 2 people should be your university lecturer, senior lecturer, or somebody over there, or else your school teacher or school principal, or anybody, lawyer, doctor, or someone whom you have closely worked with. Okay, not just that you know that person or whatsoever. You should work with them. All right. Work in a sense like, who knows you very well about your professional side of it. All right. So your lecturers will know definitely, right? Because when you do projects and all those things, they will know. And also somebody whom you have actually done any professional work. All right. So when you're mentioning the referees in the CV, always make sure that you ask them before you put them in your CV. All right. Because some people this is actually people happen to have at Virtusa, right? So when we are hiring, we actually go and check this something called BGV, which is the background verification. All right. So what we do is like when a candidate gets selected, we go and call that candidate's referee and check how he or she is performing, or else how he or she, just to get to know about yourself from your referees. All right. Let's say if your referee say, I don't know that person, I have no idea who's that person is and all those things, then absolutely, like, we will not get you to hire to the company. Because let's say if you are, for an example, like, you should definitely have that person work across. If not, so there is no point in putting as a referee as well. All right. So always make sure that you kind of put your referees whom you have closely worked with. All right. So when you're mentioning the CV, couple of things that you really have to make sure, always put their title, the sir or sorry, Mr. or Mrs. or doctor, professor, or reverend priest, or all those things like lawyer or whatsoever, and then use where they're working, all right, either in your university or wherever, and also put their designation, which is a very important thing. And then always make sure that you put their email address or contact number. Either one of it. If there is a both thing, that's perfectly all right. But always make sure that you put either one of them. Either their email address, either their phone number. If both is there, that's perfect. Because the reason is like we need to contact them, right? It is a mandatory area that we have to contact them and we have to check about the background verification. So it is very important that you kind of making sure that you put those information up and ready in the CV. Okay. The next section is like, that's about like, about the referees and all those things. Does anybody want to have any clarification out there? Anything to be clarified in terms of the referees, guys?
Oh, sir.
Okay, all right. Thank you. So next is like we are just gonna showcase a little bit of formal design and template, right? Be creative. It's like this very be creative, but always showcase the effort that you're putting in your CV. It's very important that you need to like empathize on what is important factor. All right. So this person is applying for a web designing, and so he has to done some graphics and all this. So if you see that everything is common, two names. All right. So in one page, if you are actually a person who's like just starting your career, one page is more than enough. You don't have to go even 2 pages. All right. So here you see all the skills about this objective, education, experience, and all those things. All right. So be creative, but always remember it's you don't like just put paragraphs and be very uncreative. All right. So before we go to the next section, I want to ask you all a question. Does the CV requires to have your photograph or no? Yes or no? If it is yes, please tell me why. If it is no, also please tell me why. All right. So if there are only few audience here, 42 people. So if you can unmute your microphone and talk, that will be greatly appreciated, guys. I mean, there is no right or wrong answer, honestly, and I'm not gonna throw you out of the class like if you answer incorrectly. There is no incorrect answer actually. So if you guys can just unmute your microphone and ask me, sorry, tell me like what exactly that you want to share, which is if it is a yes or no. Anybody would like to share?
Yes.
Okay, what's your name? Sorry, I didn't get you there. Somebody said yes, but I didn't get their name. Oh, who's that, please?
Mustaq.
Mustaq, yes. Mustaq, sir, let me tell me why do you think it's we have to put the what do you call this name in our sorry, the photograph in our CV?
Identify.
Great, yes, of course, not bad. Okay, thank you so much. Anybody else who would like to? Anybody say no over here? Oh no, we don't need the picture in the CV. That's perfectly all right. Anybody else want to share? Anybody else, guys? Anybody else want to share their experience or share their thoughts? There is no right. Again, I'm saying that there is no right or wrong answer. You can definitely say me whatever that you feel about it. Anyone else? Seems to be like no. That's okay. So there is no perfect right or wrong answer in terms of how do I say, telling a person that okay, you should mention the what do you call the picture or not. All right, it depends. All right, it always depends whether you mention your picture or no. But if you do mention, all right, that's perfectly all right. Always remember that you need to have a very professional picture. All right, you should not have a picture selfie, or you shouldn't have a picture of a group of your friends, because CV is all about you. It's not about a group of your friends. All right, not a party picture, or not picture that you took like somewhere you went out with friends or whatsoever. It should be very professional picture. It has to be, at least you have to have a smart casual. All right, professional or smart casual, and it has to be very clear. All right, so that has to be mentioned in CV. If you are not, if you're putting, or if you're not putting, that's perfectly all right. Okay, so that's come to a conclusion, and then I want to give you guys a little bit of tips about exactly how we kind of make out your CV, like a little bit of tips that I want to share with you all. Your CV need to stand out, which is like you have to demonstrate the unique blend of your skills and experience. You need to really, really showcase those things. All right. If you do not showcase those things, it's kind of not very good. Okay, so please make sure that you put whatever the exact information. Okay, don't lie in your CV. If you do lie in your CV, that's going to be a very bad thing. So please make sure that you do not lie in your CV. And then be neat. Make sure your CV is attractive. All right. So if you do not make your CV attractive, it's going to be very messy. In a sense, attractive, not use any different type of colors. No, over here, none of the place I have mentioned to use different colors. Always you use black and white. All right. So when you're actually making those things very neat, and also bullet points and all those things will make your CV very attractive. Check million times, no spellings or no grammar mistakes or whatsoever, because a lot of people may tend to make that mistake. So always avoid those mistakes and make sure that you kind of making sure. Set the work experience in a reverse chronicle orders, which is very important, which is I already spoke about. Your firsts, your latest should come in the firsts, and then you have to go reverse wise. Proper punctuation is very essential, which is like, if you do not use proper punctuation, then there is no way of articulating your CV. Keep it simple, right? You don't have to rush into anything, or you don't have to elaborate on things, because you'll have that opportunity in the interview to elaborate things and all those things. All right. Don't use more than 2 pages. And, some profiles I have seen, they go for like 6 pages, 5 pages, because this is not a script of taking a Netflix series or, drama cast or whatsoever for yourself. It is just a CV to showcase your skills, education, background, and everything. All right. So always make sure that you kind of make that very, very importantly. Okay. And then best is to limit your CV for 2 pages, which is I already spoke about. All right. So don't go beyond 2 pages. When you go beyond 2 pages, is not very, very good. All right. Keeping in this reminder, I want to open up for Q&A. If you have any questions or anything to be clarified, or anything that you all want to ask me or whatsoever, please feel free about it. Okay, somebody has asked a very massive question. Can you read that? If I don't know who's the person who asked. Is it possible if I can read this out to everyone?
Yes, sir.
All right, okay. Okay, can you unmute your microphone and ask me what is the question is all about? And your name, please. Nobody's gonna judge you for asking questions, so please feel free about it. Okay, so since we have limited time, I'll just read out the question. I'm currently embarking on a research project focusing on the design and the development of a machine learning based job resume evaluation system. I'm interested in discussing potential collaboration opportunities, exchanges, ideas, and seeking your guidance on various aspects of my project. If you're willing to spare some brief conversation or exchange emails, I would like to greatly appreciate opportunity to learn from your experience and gather insight. All right, okay. So this is just not a question per se. It's just no, like a favor. Definitely, I will help it out. I'm not too sure who's the person who asked this. So if you have any queries or anything like that, please reach out to me on the LinkedIn or just write it to me through this email ID. So I will be able to help you with that. All right. All right. Any questions that I just want to ask you guys any questions or anything that you all want to clarify so that we can spend some time on that. So don't worry, we will be having the interview facing session next time. I will talk to your coordinator and arrange it because I have a very hard stop at 4 o'clock. It is a ad hoc thing actually came across. So let's have the CV writing as well. All right, it's a Hananas asked, how do you get internship at Virtusa? You can apply through your coordinator. So you can apply through your coordinator the internship. And once your profile gets shortlisted, so how we will do is like as soon as we get your profile, we will be keeping the profile in our pipeline. All right. And then we will be checking that across with our job openings. If your profile matches our job openings, we will call you for a technical interview. And then we will be called for HR interview, and then thereafter only we will be hired for the internship. Okay. So currently we don't have much openings, or we have very limited openings. So if you wish, you can also send across your profile to your coordinator, and he or she will liaise with me, and we'll keep a profile in the pipeline. So based on the priority, we will reach back to you on the interview phase. Okay, great. So there's another saying somebody from called TM. So companies mostly look for people who are many languages or are prominent in one or two languages. Because if you're new programming, basic language, but new programming languages, but basic, if it is okay or not. So basic is very important. All right. So when you talk about the languages, it's not about how many languages that you are, how many languages that you know. It's all about how depth that you know about those languages. All right. So some people might be very good in I mean, they would have been done a lot of languages, but it's not really relevant if you are not really familiarized with that language, and if you do not know how to apply those things, right? So it's always make sure that you apply those things. So in order for you to apply those things, whatever the language that you're good at, be pro about it. All right. But it's very good that you should learn like 2 or 3 languages, which is actually helps you with, if you want to really stick your career into programming and software engineering. Yeah. That's what I can, suggest you. Hope that answer your question. All right, no worries at all. Anybody else who would like to ask any question? All right. Again, Hananas asks, can we get interested in network security related to work? Of course, you can get the internship, but at the moment we don't have an internship in networking and security related field. But always you can apply and we'll keep the profile in the pipeline. If there is any openings, we'll definitely call you back. All right. Since there is no any other questions, Saja, can we close the meeting?
Yeah, you did a very excellent session, Nistan bro. You share your knowledge and experience with students. I think it's very helpful for them to prepare your CVs. They can prepare their CVs in proper way. Thank you very much for your time
Yes.
and sharing your knowledge with us. Thank you, Ayi.
No worries at all. It's my pleasure. And please let me know when we can schedule the different interview.
You can
Sorry,
send me based on your
what do you
free
call
time.
this,
I will arrange the meeting.
interview basic.
Yeah.
Sure. Wonderful.
If anyone give a
Okay.
feedback
Anybody?
about any volunteer to give a feedback about the session, what did you learn? Yeah, fine. Then we will wind up the session. Thank you very much for your valuable time and you can share your knowledge, Aniston Bro. We will meet on the session based on your free time regarding how we will prepare for interviews.
Sure. Thank you so much, guys,
Thank
for
you.
listening, and please feel free to reach out to me as well. Thank you so much, Sajan, for the opportunity. Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you.